Hi everyone, welcome to the 5th episode of Wednesdays We Craft. Today's episode is called There Paint Nothing to It. So I'm going to go over common things I see at the place I work, which is a sip and paint place. Wink wink. I won't say which one, I don't know if I'm allowed. Anyway, people that know me know what I'm talking about. So, the most common thing I find that troubles people is blending. So I'm going to talk about how to blend, and then also how to write words with a paintbrush. So I have a couple tips I can give you just in case you're one of those people who want to learn more about painting. For today's craft, you'll need a canvas. Any size will do. I'm using 16 by 20 because that's just what I like to use. Then you'll need a cup of water. I have this nifty brush holder thing, but any cup will do as long as you don't mind getting paint on it. As you can see, my easel as well as my water cup have been greatly used. So a paintbrush, a small one. I like this one because the bristles are pretty long, but you know, as long as it's small, that's all that matters. It'll get nice words for it. Then you'll also need a bigger brush. This is for the blending the background. So yeah. Then you'll need something to put your paint on. You can use this thing, or you can use paper plates. That's a pretty common thing. Some white paint. And then I have these pretty turquoise colors. This is Laguna. Ooh. And then it's been greatly used, as you can see, Patina. But really, you could use any color paint, whatever you feel like you like. So yeah, any colors could work for this. So yeah, and I also have an easel. If you don't have an easel, don't fret. You can just use a table with a tablecloth on it. First thing I do is I set up my supplies. So as you see, I picked 3 colors. I'm going to start dark to light and blend. And then I have my big brush. And then, okay, Katniss. And then some water just to wipe my brush off on. And a paper towel. And that's why I like this easel. It's nice and handy. It has a drawer I can put everything on. So first I'm going to get my big brush, put it in my dark paint. And I'm just going to go across. And I want to make sure that my canvas is divided into thirds. So it's about a relaxed hand for each section, I'd say. So I'm just going to mark off with my dark color how far I'm going to go down. And I'm using acrylic paint because I like how fast it dries, but you could do it with probably any paint you like. I don't know about oil though, it's a little trickier. But today I'm just using acrylic, and you could do this with any color really that you like. Oh, and don't forget to paint your sides. It looks nice hanging up. When it comes to switching colors, I'm not going to wash my brush because I'm going to be blending this color into my first color. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that light minty color, and I'm going to start below it a little bit, just like about an inch below it. So a couple fingers worth. I'm going to start making my lighter color. And then the key to blending is to not add too much paint, because the more paint you add, the harder it is to work with. So I'm just going to go over that darker color that I've already done and just keep going over it until I like how it looks. And I'll just smooth it out. So as you see, we have a nice pretty transition between the darker color and the lighter color. This is nice because then you don't have such a stark line and it looks more like an ombre, the kind of effect I'm going for. So again, I'm just going to get a little bit of that minty color, start below, and then work my way up into the darker color. So the trick to blending is you just keep going over it until you like how smooth it looks. Now for me, I think that looks pretty nice. It's a nice transition from the darker green to this minty color. So then I'm, again, about a spread hand worth of this minty color. And I still have some of that dark color on my brush, so it shows up every now and then, but that's not a huge deal because then it'll make it look more, you know, interesting as I go. Again, don't forget to paint your sides. It looks nice. And you can blend at your sides too by doing the same thing, just going over it, you know, lightly. Now that I have my second color, again, I'm not going to rinse my brush. I'm just going to pick up some white paint just straight out of the thing, and I'm going to start a little bit below. So since I still have the minty color on my brush, the white is, you know, mixing with it, but that's okay. And so I'm just going to work my way up into the minty color. And I had a thicker acrylic for white, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water. So I just dipped my brush in the water a little bit, kind of tapped, you know, shook it, and then just go over it. So that's another thing that can help with blending. Just a little bit of water helps it blend a lot, and it just smooths it out, especially if you have a thicker acrylic paint. My first two were a little bit on the more watery side, so I didn't need water for that. But for this one, I definitely needed some water. So now I'm just going to go and fill the rest of it with white. And it's not going to be perfectly white. It's going to be like a lighter mint, but that's okay. That's what I was going for. So that's why I left the minty color on my brush. If you wanted yours to be more white, you would need to clean it between transitions. But this is what I wanted, so I'm okay with it. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going over it like my first color until I like the way it looks. And I think that looks pretty good. So as you see, it made a little lighter mint, and then it looks more white at the bottom. So that's kind of what I was going for. That's why I wanted it, you know, to be dirty when I picked up the white, because then it makes a whole new color in the middle and then white, and it's just a nice thing to have, you know, when you're blending. Because you get to make a lot of cool new colors sometimes that you never meant to make. Okay, so I don't like how that top part looks pretty streaky. So I'm just going to wipe the excess off of my brush, the excess paint. And then I'm just going to pick up some of that dark color again, because by now it should be mostly dry. Now that I have it how I like it, I feel like that's a pretty transition, kind of an ombre effect. I'm going to let it dry. Acrylic paint dries fast, which is great, so I'm going to give it about 10 minutes. I feel like that's sufficient amount of time. So yeah, I'll be back when it's dry, and we'll start on the lettering. A good way to tell if your canvas is dry, is to move it in the light. So if you look right in here, it's not shiny. But if you look in this area, it's pretty shiny. So the shinier it is, the wetter it is. So that is when it's dry, it's nice and matte. So just look for that before you start. Just kind of move it around. If it's shiny all over, it just needs more time to dry. My painting is nice and dry. Now I'm going to work on the words. For words, I like to use chalk. I feel like it's the best thing to use because you can just erase it really easily, get a paper towel wet, and it comes right off. Okay, so first I'm going to make my circle. I'm going to use this big metal bowl because I just want a really big circle. And then this is a nice way to get a perfect circle. You can use a paper plate or, pretty much anything round you can use as a stencil. Mwah. Look at that. Oh, that is a nice circle. I like that. Can you see it? Ooh. All right. So now I'm just going to work on my words. I'm going to do something cheesy. It's going to say Austin and Jenny. Blah, I know, gross. But I like it, so I'll probably do it about a hand each, have it all mapped out before I even put a paintbrush to my words. So that way I have a nice little stencil, so I don't have to freak out about, oh, what am I going to do next? I use this all the time. I feel like it works much better than just trying to, work your way through it. The important part of any detail work like words or something small is to have a nice small brush. Look at that. So pretty. Anyway, yeah, it's nice and small, as you can see. And then I'm going to get my white, because that's what I'm going to work on. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it. I just boop the water in my water cup, and then just come back up and mix it into my paint. So acrylic paint can be thick sometimes, so that's why I add the water, because then this just makes it go a little smoother. So between this watery paint and the tiny brush, it should give you the advantage to where you can actually make a nice clean line. Another thing is, don't have your brush too overloaded, like that's way too much paint. So I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to go off to the side and work into it instead of just picking up a big clump. My brush is nice and skinny, so the first thing I'm going to do is follow my circle line. And I'm just lightly pressing the brush down so then it'll have the same width as I go. Another trick I like to do is hold my pinky out. Makes you fancy. Sorry, SpongeBob reference, my bad. Anyway, so yeah, be fancy and just put your pinky out, and it's a nice way to stabilize your arm. So you can make a nice clean line without getting all shaky. Another way to do it is some people like to hold their other arm here, and then just kind of follow with it. I don't like that. It doesn't feel right to me, but whatever feels natural to you, you'll figure it out as you practice. But yeah, when in doubt, pinky out, man. And don't be afraid to move your canvas around. It helps sometimes to just get it at a different angle. I'm going to go over my words. So remember, slow and steady. You're not trying to win a race here. Just take your time with it. And the good thing about the watery acrylic is if you make a boo-boo, you can just get your paper towel and just wipe away where you just painted and it was like, it's never there. See, watch. Okay, oops, I went outside of the line. A little bit of water on my paper towel, and then I just go where I made a boo-boo. A boom, it wipes right away. So that's another good thing about watery acrylic. You know, you can just wipe it away, get rid of it. I don't like you. It isn't as bold, but you can just do a couple of coats if you want it to be, you know, a brighter white. With white, I always have to do a couple coats anyway when it's watery. And then it gives you a chance to, you know, fix some boo-boos you might have made along the way. As you can see, it's starting to get kind of sketchy over here. See, it's not making a pretty line anymore. So when you see that just see how pretty that is compared to that. So when that starts to happen, that just means you need to add more water and more paint to your mixture. You're just running out of the nice watery paint. So you just add some more water to your paint as you go. So as you see, mine's pretty watery. It's more like ink. It's not dripping down my palette. It's just staying where it is. See, nice and watery. So yeah, once you get your watery mixture again, oh, see, it starts to go nice again. Nice and smooth. This first coat dry so I can do another coat later. It'll probably take a couple coats, maybe 3, to get it that stark white that I'm going for, because you know the watering it down makes it a little more translucent, but that's okay. We'll just add more coats. As you can see, it's nice and white. So I did 3 coats of white, and it was less watered down on the last 2 coats, just so it would be that brighter white that I want. Now that I have my white base, I'm going to add some gold over it to make it shiny. Just the names, the circle and the and sign, are going to stay white. My favorite gold brand is this basic gold. It's acrylic. I feel like it shows up a lot better. It still takes 3 or 4 coats, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, if you can see, it's kind of streaky, and I don't want that. I want it to be nice and bold. I know far away it looks prettier, but it'll look nicer if you do a couple coats. So I'm impatient, so I'm going to use a blow dryer, my handy dandy blow dryer, and I'm just going to blow dry it. When you blow dry acrylic paint, you don't want to get super close, and you don't want to hold it on one spot too long, because then it can crack, especially if you have really thick paint. It'll crack really bad if you like glob it on. So the best way is to just do it where you move it and slowly go across. Not too close, not on one spot for very long. So yeah, just like sweep it. So I'm going to do that real quick. Now I'm going to do 2 or 3 more coats just to make that really shiny. Thank you for watching this episode of Wednesdays We Craft. There paint nothing to it. If you felt like you learned something and you liked it, please subscribe. I try to do a different type of craft every week. So I'd love to see you back. Also, please like the video. Oh, and I have a link of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, all that fun jazz. And so yeah, hope to see you next week. Thank you.